Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. And so I say, welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. We welcome our virtual family via Facebook that is joining us. We know that the spirit and the essence of love is absolutely all that there is. We're continuing our monthly theme for January, Living in Everyday Wonder. And so I start this morning with an exclusive offer for you that's joining us via Facebook, as well as those who are part of our Zoom family. And it is an invitation to join us for our winter class, Spiritual Principles and Practices. Would you like to learn how to bring spiritual principles and practices into action now? And are you willing to commit to 5 weeks, only 5 weeks, to develop a practice for bringing these principles into your life? If that answer is yes, then we invite you to join us for a free preview of the class on this Tuesday, January the 25th, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And we will be doing this via Zoom. And so I've asked our tech team to place the Zoom link in the chat for our Zoom family and into the comments section for our Facebook family. Like most of our classes, there are prerequisites. And for this class, there are only 3, just 3. An open heart, an open mind, and a willingness to explore. A willingness to explore. So if any of this is just this little teaser excites you, join us on Tuesday for a free preview of the class Spiritual Principles and Practices from 6:30 to 7:30. And this morning we pause to remember Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, a world-renowned spiritual leader, author, poet, peace activist, who died on January the 22nd at his root temple in Vietnam. And he was 95 years old. And so we lift into our prayers and into our spirits and into our minds the many lives that Thich Nhat Hanh has touched, his followers, his students, and everyone who has been touched by him in any way. And we know that his work, his teachings continue to live on in our hearts and in our minds. Our topic for today is question everything. Question everything. And I have a little morning funny to start us with. And this is ask and you shall receive. And this is not indicative of anyone on our particular board of trustees. So I put that disclaimer in there up front. But a pastor and the council president ended up in a heated argument over a seemingly minor worship detail. A worship detail, not a business detail. I suggest we go home and pray to God to grant us peaceful hearts, said the pastor, as the council president stormed past into the parking lot. After worship the next Sunday, the council president greeted the pastor warmly and said, I took your advice, I went home, and I said a prayer. Great, responded the pastor. So did I. I prayed that God would grant us both peaceful hearts and a fresh start. That's not what I prayed for, said the council president. I asked God to help me put up with you. And I know that will not be the case here at Monterey, that we have a loving and collaborative and cooperative partnership with each other. And so questioning everything. Questions open us up to possibilities and sacred inquiry that may just be life-changing. So you may ask, what's in a question? Curiosity, clarity, knowledge, desires, wants, needs, information, suggestions. You may have heard the expression that the answer to the question is in the question itself. Albert Einstein says this: I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious. And I offer that being passionately curious provides answers to our questions. And if we approach this from a science of mind point of view, our teaching invites us to be open at the top. This means that we continue to evolve. We continue to deepen our understanding of spirit and law. We go deep and we go wide. Ernest Holmes writes this in Living the Science of Mind. And he says this about our philosophy: the entire inquiry of science of mind is an inquiry into the relationship between God and the individual. So far as we establish a right relationship, we shall have a corresponding power. And so there is power in our inquiry because of this divine connection that we have with the indwelling presence. Asking questions avails us of the infinite intelligence and allows divine wisdom in our daily lives, the wonders of which never cease. And our willingness to ask questions keeps us open at the top. Our willingness, and this is all that is required, a willingness to ask questions is what keeps us open at the top. And I offer these points of illustration. The first one, again, is to question everything. It is estimated that children ask between 70 and 100 questions a day. And if any of you have been around children or may have raised a family or may be around grandkids or great-grandkids, they're in that inquisitive state. We know that they question everything. Most often their questions are summarized in one word, and that word is why. Why? 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 You may say such a tiny word, but such a big question. And that why invites us to go within and to examine, if we're willing to examine our response and to question whether or not that response really makes sense. And that's all the kid is looking for. They're not looking for a detailed philosophical explanation. They just want a very simplistic answer, and they're on to the next question. As adults, on the other hand, we generally ask around 20 questions a day, and most often these are closed or limited, such as, what do you want for dinner? What time is the meeting? Do you want to go see a movie tonight? We are born with a natural curiosity, and when we are young, we have a desire to learn and understand more about the world around us. And then life happens. And if we allow it to, it may dampen our curiosity. We can continue to imagine that anything is possible. And I remember I went through a transformation experience a number of years ago, and I declared that I was reinventing myself. And as I look back over that, I have continued to reinvent myself countless numbers of times as I expand my curiosity, as I open to new awarenesses, new opportunities. Curiosity sparks creativity, and our willingness to ask questions expands our world. Asking a question signals to life that you're ready to live the answer, and then life lives it through you at the appropriate time. And this quote is from Mary O'Malley in her book, What's in the Way is the Way. Our second illustration is spiritual discernment. We often ask questions and seek the answers externally. However, there is an infinite intelligence always available within us to provide the answers. We can access this through sacred inquiry of spirit. Our spiritual practices of visioning and spiritual discernment bring us into close contact with the indwelling presence and allows for a direct revelation of truth. We begin both practices by centering in oneness and anchoring in love. Envisioning, we ask the expansive, open-ended question to catch the vision, to catch the highest idea that Spirit has for us in that moment. In spiritual discernment, we ask clarifying questions. We ask divine guidance about something that is more specific. Spiritual discernment allows us to provide the answer that helps us clarify the what. Remember, in our practices of visioning, we don't ask why. Unlike the question that children ask, we ask of Spirit what. We leave the why up to Spirit to resolve and to figure out for us. So in asking the what, we may ask, what is mine to know? What is mine to be? And what is mine to do? What is the next step? What direction do I need to go in? And there are other questions that we may ask also. Our regular spiritual practice strengthens our ability to hear the still small voice within and to trust its guidance. Our minds are one with the one mind and only knows the highest and the best. This is what it means to turn to guidance. And I think this may be a good point to put in another plug for the class, Spiritual Principles and Practices, that allows us to expand our practices. It allows us the tools and the techniques to grow and to expand and to deepen our awareness and our connection with Spirit. So join us for our preview class on Tuesday. This is a free overview of the class on Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30. Ernest Holmes writes this in our Science of Mind textbook. Through spiritual discernment, we see that we have within us a power which is greater than anything we shall ever contact, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our experience. The third illustration this morning is living in the question. Living in the question is a willingness to stay with the question and open us to the expansive opportunities and creative ideas and inspired solutions. The answers to our question may come as a divine download. How many of you have had that experience where you've been contemplating something for a while and just asking, what's next? What is next to be revealed? And there's this brilliant aha moment. I remember I was working in San Francisco a number of years ago, and I would do casual carpool in and then walk to the building that I worked in along Market Street. And one morning I was walking into the office and there was something that I had been experiencing, a question that I had been asking, actually a why question. And maybe about 3 or 4 years I had been asking this question. And all of a sudden, this divine download hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was a question about a friend and a relationship that we had. And the response was, you were trying to make your friend into yourself. And this was when I was relatively new to this philosophy and I was learning and embracing these principles. And it was my desire to have this individual who was very close to me. We'd known each other since 3rd grade. To just, I can mold you. I can shape your life in such a way that you really grasp this and you have a more expansive view. That was not my mission. And so after those years of inquiry, this divine download hit me. More frequently, though, the answers come in the wonders of everyday life. They may come to us as a line from a movie, an aha from a book, a post on social media, or even a conversation with a friend or an acquaintance. And there are a number of other ways the answers come to us. What I do know is this, that the space is sure to be filled and the answer will come at the right time. Jacqueline Winspear writes in Mace Dobbs, truth walks toward us on the paths of our questions. As soon as you think you have the answer, You have closed the path and may miss new information. Wait. Wait a while in the stillness and do not rush to conclusions, no matter how uncomfortable the unknowing may be. And this I know for sure, spirit always fills the void. And so our conclusion and call to action today is to start to see things and do things differently. When we are inquisitive, life becomes an endless opportunity to learn and to grow. Question everything. Don't passively accept things around you as being just as they are. Ask why they are. What are you curious about? Ask new questions. Ask big questions. Be open to seeing a bigger picture and challenging your own limiting beliefs. I am doing this in my life, and a whole new vista is opening up for me. Take off the limits of current awareness, allowing yourself to be awed by the limitlessness of what you can be interested in. Learn new things and become more creative and innovative now. Our Centers for Spiritual Living just concluded its annual conference this year, and the theme was Embrace the Now. And in asking questions, in questioning everything, it provides us with an opportunity to embrace the now. And so our reflective questions for the week, and these will be in the chat and in the comments section, in our Zoom room and on our Facebook page. What makes a good question? Number one, what makes a good question? And number two, what keeps me from asking questions? What is there in my life experience that has caused me to clam up, to close up, to go within and not ask questions? Give yourself permission to ask questions. And then finally, what am I curious about? What am I curious about? This certainly opens the door to new possibilities, to new awarenesses, to new ways of showing up and being present in the now. And our affirmation for the week is, I ask new questions and I allow the answers to come. And so I'm going to say a part of this and invite you to repeat it back. I ask new questions and I allow the answers to come. Let us pray together. As we turn within to this divine place, this place of the all-prevailing presence of spirit, what I know is God is absolutely all that there is. God is love, God is joy, God is peace, God is power, God is the presence that lives itself in and as and through me. And so as I recognize my unity with the one, I recognize this is the truth for all who are a part of this experience that is called life, knowing that each one is an individualized expression of pure spirit, living, moving, and having their very life as the presence and the power of spirit, presence and the power of God, this indwelling infinite intelligence. And so this morning, I joyfully speak my word of gratitude for this time of being together, for this time of experiencing the now, and for the opportunity, for the reminder, for the invitation to question everything, to not take anything for granted, to examine it with open eyes. Being present in the now invites us to release any past notions or ideas or experiences that we may have had, and to just be fully aware and to ask, what is Spirit revealing to me in this moment? And then to wait patiently for the answer. And in the asking for the revelation, We may also ask for it to be revealed in a way that I embrace, that I embody, and that I understand at my level of knowingness and my level of experience. Because the answer is specifically tailored for us. It is not for the entire planet. It is our individual answer to our individual question. And that answer allows us to expand our worldview. So there is a collaboration between the inner and the outer. We move and we live and we have our very expressiveness from the inner and expresses in the outer. Songwriter penned these words, something on the inside, working on the outside, making a change in me. And so as I embrace the change that is taking place on the inside, I see it reflected in the outer. And I embrace this as the truth for all. We're willing to explore, to wait patiently for the answers to be revealed. I bless places where people are gathering in the name of that which is holy, that which is significant, that which resonates. Whether it is called God, Spirit, Enlightened One, infinite intelligence, infinite being, whatever the expression is that is used, I know that the presence is there and that it is recognized. And we embrace all paths, recognizing that everyone and every path leads back to the same destination. And so as we travel along this journey, as our paths intersect with those of different traditions, let us meet in a place of love. Let us meet in a place of collaboration and cooperation. And let us meet humbly and walk the path together softly, leaving the imprint that love is the answer. That the joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. I speak a word of blessing for those who have prayer requests that have either been spoken or written or remain in the recesses of our hearts. Knowing that Spirit always says yes, and that the answer to the question, the answer to the prayer request is in the request itself. And so we patiently and lovingly and openly listen for the answer. And we follow the internal guidance that always says, I love you. You are my beloved. You are special in my eyesight. And that is the indwelling presence that is speaking to us continually and continually if we take the moment to listen, to just listen. And so for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful. And I release this word back into the law, which always says yes, allowing it to be so. And I invite us to affirm this together by saying, and so it is. So it is. And once again, I take this opportunity to invite each one to connect with a minister or practitioner. We honor your prayer request. It is our joy. It is part of our training to pray with you and to pray for you, to support you in whatever the experience is, whatever is the opportunity that is going on in life. And as I always say, as a reminder, we love to have the joyful experiences as well as walk with you through that dark night of the soul, if you will, knowing that love prevails in everything. Now, this is our opportunity to participate in the divine flow and circulation of our financial prosperity, our ways to support the center. And I do thank you, along with our Board of Trustees. We thank you for the loving ways that you support the Center for Spiritual Living Monterey. And as we begin to plan for 2023, we will be identifying programs, and we invite your input also as to what you would like to see the center offer, how you would like to see us engaged in the larger community. And we do that through our contributions, our tithes, and our offerings to the center. And so we have a statement of abundance that I invite us to say together now. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness and my authentic consciousness. And so on our screen are the ways that you may support the center through a check, and our mailing address is on the screen, through a donation to our website, which is a secure website, and also through our text to give opportunity. And so once again, a plug for the class, reminder to join the free preview on Tuesday night from 6:30 to 7:30 via Zoom. And the link is in the chat and also in the comments section of our Facebook page, where we will do an overview of spiritual principles and practices. And I invite you to come back and join us next week as we wrap up our theme for January, Living in the Wonder. And we have a special message that will be brought to us by our own Amber Guzman, who will be standing in as our guest speaker for next Sunday. And the topic will be Prove It, or something closely related. And so I invite you to come back next Sunday and join Amber and support this loving community as we continue to support and love and affirm one another. And so I say thank you and good morning to our Facebook family. We invite you to come back next week. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you.